Hi guys, this is Angel and today I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful cocoa bombs. First we're going to take our Sweet Shop Meltons and put them in our Wilton pot and melt them down. And this process can take up to 10 minutes, so you want to go ahead and get this started before you prep anything else. I have them set on low now because I've had it going for a while, and I'm continuously stirring it. See, it's still kind of chunky here. It's been about 5 minutes. I'm going to continue to stir, take my time, melt them down, and they smell so good. Now I'm going to take this beautiful purple, and this purple, it is an oil-based purple. You never want to use the water base with the chocolate melting chips. And I'm going to try to achieve this beautiful purple that a client wants. So I've put a little bit in the spoon and I'm just stirring it up, giving it some stirs. And yeah, you got to make sure you keep stirring this stuff because as you'll see, it kind of sits. So yeah, give it some stirs, and then if it's the right consistency that you want or the right color you want, then you can stop there. But yeah, that's not enough for me, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Give it some more stirs. So pretty. I love purple. Now what you could do at this point, you can take some out if you want 2 tones of purple, or you can just stop, or you can keep going like I'm going to do and add a little bit more. I really wanted to see how rich of a purple I could get, but I was too afraid that if I added too much, it would change the consistency or change the taste. So I'm only adding just a little bit of drop here, a drop there, and then giving it some more stirs. In a later video, I'll probably play with some more colors to see what we get. I thought about adding just a little bit of black to it, but I thought maybe that would be too much. Just remember, you never want to use water base, and this stuff is messy. Okay, so here I have the right color that I want, and so I took a little paintbrush that I use with all of my food stuff, and I put about 2 teaspoons in my cocoa bomb mold. And I found that this brush was just not working for me. It seemed like every time I would try to go up the side, with every stroke, it would pull. It would pull the chocolate from the bottom. Yeah, not working for me. So what I decided to do was to use the back of the spoon. So much smoother, coat so much better. It did not pull from the middle or from the center. As you can tell in the center, that's where the brush kept pulling. So see, I got a much smoother coat around. Now this is just my first coat. I also gave it a little shake, and once I shook it around a little bit, much better. Now here's a little bit of glitter dust that I'm going to use. Now whenever I have extra, I always just put it in a mold. Whenever I have extra chocolate, I never throw chocolate out. It doesn't matter how small of an amount, I always have these molds sitting around of something. And you'd be surprised what you can use how little these molds take. Now one thing's with the mold, you always want to make sure that you tap them on something to get all the air bubbles out. When you tap it on a hard surface, the air bubbles from the bottom of the mold comes through the chocolate, and then it doesn't show on, you don't have air bubbles. As you can tell here, as I'm tapping, the air bubbles are coming to the surface. Sometimes you can take a little toothpick or something and pop the bubbles, but keep tapping, tap, 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 tap from the bottom, tap it on the counter, get those air bubbles out. If not, it will distort your whatever you're molding in the front. Now these are called the Easy Thins, and what I do with these is it thins out your chocolate. Now there was a step that I had taken in in here that I wasn't able to show you guys. I actually dipped some strawberries. Well, I was not focused in very well, so I had to cut that out. So I did dip the strawberries once with the Easy Thin in there. Now these have come out of the refrigerator. And what I'm doing is I'm putting a second coat on these as well. I made 2 sets. And what I found is with the second coat, it's so much easier with the paintbrush. Now, as you can tell on the, no, you may not be able to tell, but on the Wilton machine, by this time, I have turned it off. I turned it off because I wanted the chocolate to get kind of firm. Now, there are 2 reasons for that. Once it's firmer, it's easier to coat up the sides. Like I said, you want the rim of that to be really thick, and you'll see why later. But second, if you put really hot cocoa on top of the cocoa bombs, it melts the first coating, which you don't want that to do. So once you put them in the refrigerator again and then taking them out, they slide right on out of those molds. And so then what you're going to do is you're going to have a hot pan or a hot plate there, and you're going to melt the first part of the sphere. Very important, you're going to melt both sides. Then you're going to fill it with your cocoa, fill it with marshmallows, fill it with sprinkles, fill it with whatever you want to fill it with. And then you're going to take the second top and you're going to melt the rim of that also. That will allow them to fuse together. Once they're fused together, this is what you're left with. Beautiful, beautiful balls that fit together. One key here that I had to learn, and no one told me this, you have to melt the top and the bottom of the sphere. If not, if you only melt one's going to be smaller and then they don't fit on top of each other. So once you get done melting them and fusing them together, pour some of your cocoa, because it's cooled now, into a plastic bag, Ziploc bag or piping bag, and pipe you some designs on. Once you do that, you can add some sprinkles on top. Here I'm adding some more of the edible glitter. You can add whatever your heart desires. You can go with the same color, you can change up the colors, do a theme, and there you go. Beautiful, beautiful cocoa bombs. Now here, I have the little flowers I put in the mold, and I'm going to use those to decorate my cocoa bombs as well. Now, one of the things that you want to make sure you do, like I said before, make sure that the chocolate in the piping bag is not hot. It cannot be really hot. If it is hot, once you put it on the back of your flower and stick it on your cocoa bomb, it will melt right on through. So just make sure that it's enough where you can pipe it out of the bag, you put it on your flower, stick it to the chocolate, voila, it is done. Now we have beautiful cocoa bombs, and we got a couple of chocolate covered strawberries. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.